Welcome to a new FIFA 22 video on my channel. My name is Mark, and in this video I'm going to show you my controller and my camera settings. I get a few requests on other videos about my camera settings, about my controller settings. So I thought, well, let's make another video about that. I already did it in FIFA 21 as well, so we're going to do it in FIFA 22 also. But before I begin, I really wanted to ask you to drop a like button in the video. I would really appreciate it. If you will do that, it will help my channel to rank up higher on YouTube, on suggested videos by other people. So do me a favor, hit that like button. If you are new and want to make sure you find your way back to the channel really easy, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on, so when I'm uploading a new video, you will get a message. Alright, let's start with the controller settings. Competitive master switch is off. I don't use that. Contextual eagle dribbling is on. This one is off because if you put this one on, everything below there is off. And that's for maybe for the pro players. I'm not really a pro player. I need some assistance from the AI. So that's why this is off. Contextual eagle dribbling is on. I tried it with off and it feels a bit unnatural for me when I was dribbling, so on was better for me. Auto clearances is off because sometimes when it's on, your player is clear a ball when you don't want that, and when I want to clear a ball, I'm pushing the button myself. So that's why I put this one off. Auto flare pass is on, and I suggest to use this when you're playing with really good players. If you are playing with clubs like Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, national team of France, Barcelona, Real Madrid, then you have players around 85 rating and they can pass really good, and the auto flare pass is a really good option. If you are playing, for an example, in online seasons or in career mode with really bad players that are 60 rated, 70 rated, I should suggest to put this off because they are not really good passes, and when they are going to do some automatic flare passes, that could end up really awful. So on when you are playing with good players, off when you're playing with bad players, in my opinion. Auto shots is off because sometimes when you're crossing the ball or passing the ball, you don't want to shoot to decide the AI to shoot with your player, because sometimes you want to perform a skill move or another pass, and if your player is going to shoot at that moment and it's not what you want all the time. So off for me because I decide myself when I'm going to shoot and when not. Assisted headers is on for me because for me it's really hard to target on goal when you're crossing the ball. You need to head, so a little bit of assistance there is needed for me. If you can do that yourself, you can put it off, of course, but for me, on, because else all my headers are going into the audience that are watching the match. Alright, Jockey Defending is on manual. I tried this also with assisted, but yeah, most of the times when I do this on assisted and your opponent is doing a skill move, the AI always is too late to catch up with the player. If you do manual, you decide yourself where your player is moving, and you can go into the brain of your opponent, try to figure out what his plan is, and you can react on that, or even you can be a step ahead of that. So manual is good for me. If you are having problems with tracking your opponent, then maybe you should do it on assisted, but for me manual is good. Through pass assistance is on assisted because I need a little bit of help from the AI when I'm doing a through ball, but not too much, because if you do this on on semi or on manual, yeah, my through balls are going all the way sometimes. So on assisted is good. Tactical defending is the one I choose. Legacy defending is the old way of defending before FIFA 17, I think. So tactical defending is just the newer way of defending, and that's also why the Jockey Defending is really good at this moment. Alright, Fifa Trainer is off because I played FIFA for a long time, since 1993, I guess. Yes, I'm that old. So I don't need a FIFA Trainer, but if you are new to the game, you could put this on, and it's telling you what you can do. Timed finishing is on. Sometimes I'm using this, not all the time. If you are new to timed finishing or you're having problems with timed finishing, I suggest to go in an offline match, maybe in career, maybe in kickoff, put the difficulty of the AI really low on beginner or on amateur, so you can create lots and lots of chances during the match, and you have lots of situations that you can practice the timed finishing. I think that's a better way than you do it in the practice arena, because in the practice arena there are really no opponents, only the goalkeeper, and with a match against the AI in career or in kickoff, you have some opponents, so that's more the real scenario when you go online, so you can practice a bit better on that way. But if you are a player that is spamming the shoot button all the time in some scenarios, then I should suggest to put this off. Next player indicator is on, because I want to know when I'm doing the auto switch to what player it is switching to, so that's really handy to have. Pass block assistance is on, because sometimes your opponent is passing the ball when you don't expect him to do it, so you need a bit of help from the AI to block it. And there is no button to block a ball. Yeah, you can do a tackle, but there is not a really button to only block a ball, only a tackle. So I have no idea why you should this turning off, so on is good. Auto switching on air balls and loose balls, it's really handy when the AI is helping you a bit with the high balls, because else it's really hard to see where the ball exactly is going, so I want a bit of assistance there. Auto switch move assistance is on none for me. Clearance assistance is directional, because when this is on classic, the AI is deciding where you're gonna clear the ball. For an example, there is a cross and you want to head or shoot the ball away, and with classic, the AI is deciding where you are going to play it. And most of the times, or in some situations, it's directly to your opponent, and in some scenarios they could score immediately. So I do this on directional, so I gave the direction where I want to clear the ball, but with a little bit of help from the AI, he is searching for one of my players to pass or shoot the ball to. If this is on classic, it's really random where the AI is putting the ball through. All right, player lock. I don't use this. It's on, but I don't use this, so I could also put this off because I don't use it. Icon switching is on, but I don't use it as well. Right stick switching, I do that only when the indicator above the second player that he would switch automatically to is not the player that I want to switch to. So then I use my right stick to switch to the player that I want. And yeah, player related is the one that I used to be. So you can also put this on your own preferences, but player related is for me. Ground pass assistant is assisted, shot assistance is assisted, cross assistance is on semi. The passing and the shooting is on assisted because I'm used to that and it's working really good for me. Cross assistant, when I put this on assisted, is not the thing that I like, because if you are crossing, the AI is fully decided to what player he is crossing it to. You don't have any influence on what player he is going to cross. If you have, for an example, a player on at the first post, one on the second post, you can aim it, you can give it less or more power, but it doesn't help anymore. The AI is decided to what player it is going, and that's not what I want, because I want to decide myself to what player it is crossing. And with semi, you can aim to the player, you can give a little bit of power, or you can give more power, and then most of the times the AI will recognize to what player you want to cross the ball. Not all the time, it's not working perfectly, but in most situations it's working good. On manual, I can't cross any balls because they are going everywhere, so semi is good for me. Lob pass assistant is on assisted, because lob passes are really difficult to do that on manual, so assisted most of the times is good. Save assistant, I don't use that. For my feeling, that's only for goalkeepers. Analog sprint is off, because when it's on and you don't put the trigger down for the fully 100%. Your player is not sprinting the fully 100%. I don't know why you should not want that, because when you are running, you want your player to run as fast as he can, or else you don't run, you just walk. So off for me, I want to sprint fully 100%. Pass, receive, lock is on late, because sometimes you have the situations that you want to pass a ball through to a player, and then on the latest moment before your player is passing, your opponent is blocking the way, and then on the latest moment you want to switch to another player, and with late you can aim to another player and he's passing it to the other player. With early, when you are passing, it's locked to the player that you want to play with it, and no matter if you are aiming to another player, he's not doing that. He's playing it to the player that you locked on the first situation. So in some situations your opponent can block the ball because you can't switch to another player. So late for me, because sometimes it's really handy. Vibration is off, because it's awful, all these vibrations through my controller. It's not helping me to win matches. It's off for me. Alright, and then we're going to the camera settings. That's the other one. We're going to game settings, and then to the camera. What I use is telebroadcast all the time. All my videos that you are seeing with my gameplay is on telebroadcast. Then you need to put this one, camera settings. It's on default by default, but you need to switch this to custom, and the camera height is on 20, so it's the max 20, and the camera zoom is on 0, so it's really high and zoomed out, so you have a really good overview over almost the whole field, especially on the side of the field that you want to see on that moment. So that is what I'm using, and lots of people are asking me what I'm using. Well, this is it. If you don't use this, try it out yourself, and I think lots of pro gamers also use this, as far as I know, and for me it's also the best way to play these camera settings. Alright, this was my video about my controller and my camera settings. I hope you liked it, and if you have some questions about it, ask me in the comments, and I try to react at it as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.